Hello, I am Professor Aparna Surve, Dean, Balwant School of Architecture. I take the great pleasure in taking you all through our journey for past 12 years and how we have shaped our students. And in coming 10 years or 20 years, how the school is going to leapfrog into the newer challenges and build students of architecture and architecture itself. Let me take you through this journey. It is my pleasure to take you through the journey of Balwant School of Architecture and how as an institute it has engaged with this meta discipline of architecture and how it has trained our students to become successful architects. If you look at architecture per se, it's a discipline that engages with a wide range of disciplines. It not only lets you shape an individual's life, but to build communities, design cities, and also envision large regions and townships. And therefore, it is important for a seeker of architecture to be curious about the world around, continuously look at the history, map present, and envision the future. And no sooner you envision the future, you predict the future, you are ready to plan buildings. And these buildings, they outlive your own lifespan. They not only live for a decade, but they live for centuries. And as they live for centuries, they are there to tell the story of the time when they were built. And when they are telling you the story, isn't it important that an architect needs not only to look at architecture as a discipline, but it also has to look at art, history, and technology and remain constantly curious about it. Therefore, architecture is not only a discipline that shapes others' lives, but I think it completely transforms and enriches the life of its creator. About Balwant School of Architecture itself, right from its inception in 2007, its founding dean, Professor Trilochan Chhaya, set up a very unique vision for this school. As we discussed that architecture being a meta-discipline, trying to oscillate between art on one hand and technology on the other hand, it was very important for us to make students connected with their own thought processes. The school has hence developed a unique methodology through which they are made sensitive, they are made connected to their inner intuitive sensibilities of design, and thereby making their own judgments about what is good design and bad design. Once that freedom is given to the students or experienced by the students, the rest of their life they take it as their own acumen and successfully traverse the journey as a profession. To name a few, many of our students have not only engaged in the context of India, but they have gone to universities like Harvard, MIT, AA School London, UCL, Bartlett, and many renowned institutions where they not only did their master's program, but they continue to teach there, continue to get into their researches, and have engaged in creating new knowledge which could have been patented. BSSS students are always sought after by many professionals. Even today, we have no dearth of requirements coming from industry asking for the students, because we know that our students with their own intuition, with their own sensibility and confidence can change this world. So how do we do it? What is a methodology? Methodology is very simple. When they come, they are like a clay. Through our foundational methodologies in the first and the second year, many hands-on workshops are created. We don't push them into design as they come in. We first work on exercises which may not seemingly look like creating of buildings. It's about understanding how can I create a form? How can I understand the process of creating a form? So you will, if you come to BSSA, you will see a plethora of experiments spread all across the corridor, or we call it, very fondly call it as a BSSA street. You see them all around. Once students start understanding their inner processes, they are gradually introduced to very contemporary digital tools by way of teaching them into softwares, to the manufacturing processes. That is how students are enabled to take their ideas into the profession. And lastly, in their final years, final stages, students are also connected with the industry. Many industry experts come to the institutes. At that time, the industry experts are surprised at the way students respond with a free mind, creativity and innovation. I think this has been the biggest achievement of BSSA of last 12 years, and we continue to perform and function in a way by accepting newer challenges of the contemporary time. As we understand BSSA's journey about Bachelor of Architecture and how a decade and over a decade school has evolved, as a next natural step that happened to us a couple of years back was introduction of Master of Architecture program in Advanced Architecture on one hand, and on the other hand introduction of BA Interior Design course. Both these courses lie on the two sides of architecture. On one hand, Master of Architecture deals with advanced technologies, urban mapping and bringing young professionals or mid-career professionals back into the school and do a course correction about their thinking, acquire new skills and go back into the profession to make a larger impact at a higher level. On the other hand, the CIED, which seemingly a parallel course, but it deals with architecture from inside out. It looks at individual needs, it looks at micro understanding of design, be it a chair, be it a glass, be it a pencil, curtain systems, and how it flows into architecture. We look at a lot of our interior design students may take up set designs, furniture design, fashion design to that extent, lighting design and craft oriented designs as future specializations. Though Bachelor of Architecture, Master in Architecture and Interior Design are seemingly three courses, what are they bound by is the foundational training that we give at BSSA. We open up their ideas about design thinking and introducing to the high-tech technology which BSSA is known for. All the three courses are sharing that knowledge with each other and creating professionals with cutting-edge technology. So, interior design is about inside out. We can say that architecture is about outside in, and Master in Architecture is about making a large-scale urban level impact and creating substantial practices. And hence we see that we are able to create multiple platforms where these three courses can come together, share from each other and enrich this institute to pave way for future growth. Now, how these three courses are weaving into each other, learning from each other and moving into the next decade or more. What are we doing? What are we looking at? One direction that we can easily see that we are under this robust umbrella of plethora of disciplines which are housed by NMIMS, be it civil engineering, be it performing arts, liberal arts, design, management studies, project management and so on and so forth. We are extremely excited that we are surrounded by these disciplines, and as we keep saying that architecture being a meta discipline, it is bound to make that step ahead and create a platform where we can start engaging. And where is the better place other than NMIMS to give us this opportunity? With this excitement, we have already created classroom environments where civil engineering students from MP, STME and architecture students have started to work together to solve problems as a team, as a multidisciplinary team, to resolve architectural issues through structural problem solving. I think this experiment will conclude by end of March, and we are already seeing that the fruits are bearing and we are able to develop this communication with other disciplines. Apart from that, apart from the sharing of knowledge, NMIMS's intent of excellence in education, and because of that giving us the best of infrastructure, be it robotic arms, be it CNC, be it laser cutting machines, whether the type of furniture that we especially require for architecture students in the formative years and differently for the master's years, everything is available to us. I think it is now up to us as in faculty, as people who think, as students, to make most of it and create a better world for us as architects, not only who are teaching, learning, but when we go out as practicing architects. So I look forward to NMIMS's robust support for the years to come, as it has been forever. As we take great pride in celebrating the history of BSSA, which has created global architects and global designers who have not only contributed directly in the field of architecture, but they have beautifully diversified into even making applications, creating patents, and they have really gone all around. So as we do that, what do we do now in coming 10 years or 20 years? As we all think, we realize that we need to focus on probably three things. The first thing is the technologically advanced world that we are living in. Every second day we are thrown at with new technological inventions. I think the school, which is already equipped, needs to constantly engage. And the first thing what we are doing is we are setting up our high-tech lab. That is the first step that we have already begun. And for the upcoming years, we are definitely going to have high-end CNC machines and robotic arms, addition of laser cutting machines. So from architecture construction, can we move towards architectural manufacturing? And can professional architects participate in that process? This is one. Second, most importantly, that maybe not my generation, but definitely the upcoming generation are going to face is the urgency and immediate need of climate change. Architecture being a physically manifested phenomenon, architecture students will need to deal with climate change very differently. They will have to learn new data, they will have to deal with newer technologies, they will have to employ themselves to come up with newer solutions. It is said that half of the country, half of the world is going to get submerged. So what are we going to do about it? So climate change is something that we have to take up with the help of renowned institutes, experts coming here, organizing webinars and getting into real life problems and working on them in studios is our next step to deal with climate change. And third, which I have already spoken about, is the multidisciplinarity. The problems are whirling at us, maybe because of technology or the information overload. We need to constantly look at a problem from many angles at the same time, and there is no other way but deal with it multidisciplinary manner. And NMIMS, as I have already said, that is giving us this opportunity. We are definitely going to reinforce that and deal with our immediate problems, which are climate change, with the modern tools of technology and come out victorious. And I think this new generation will definitely take up the challenge, and institute will definitely support them and participate in this global process. I welcome you all to come and see us, visit the experiments that we are doing, and be the part of the education systems that we are imparting, and let us create and build this world for future.